Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So it was just reported earlier today that Manny Pacquiao has just pulled in some of the lowest pay-per-view numbers since he has been a pay-per-view attraction. Now, guys, before I go any further, I want to make it very clear that I understand how this YouTube shit works. I've been doing videos for about, 2 years now, and I understand how the comment section and the YouTube world basically works when it comes to ignorance. And what I mean when I say I understand is I understand that right now, the typical Mayweather hater, the Manny Pacquiao defender, and casual dumbass fan, you're watching this video right now. And as you just listened to what I just said about Manny Pacquiao's pay-per-view numbers, your heart, it just sunk into your stomach right now. You're starting to feel pains in your side, in your stomach, and you're getting more and more depressed as you continue to listen to this news come in. Now what you're trying to do as you continue to listen to my video is you're already thinking of ways to try to divert the attention away from Manny Pacquiao's pay-per-view or his poor pay-per-view numbers, and now you're basically trying to direct the attention towards someone else, towards someone you don't like Floyd Mayweather. Now you're thinking of ways to racially offend the messenger who's making the video. You're thinking of ways to be creative with sending some racist-ass message that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I understand how these motherfuckers think. Trust me, guys. I understand how they think. And this is what I'm here to tell you. You could go ahead and listen to this video, and you could think of some of the most ignorant shit to type up. You could think of whatever type of ridiculous rebuttal that you want to make to the news that I'm reporting right now. But understand this shit. There ain't nothing you're going to be able to say that's going to be better than the whole truth. And that is guaranteed. There's nothing that you could say that will be better than the actual facts. But to my dumbass casual fans that really gives YouTube a bad name, and you want to bring up Floyd Mayweather in contrast to Manny Pacquiao, don't worry. Because we're also going to talk about Floyd Mayweather's lowest pay-per-view numbers as well in contrast to Manny Pacquiao. So you can see really how bad Manny Pacquiao did when it comes to his pay-per-view numbers. So now with that out the way, let's go ahead and get deeper into these pay-per-view numbers that were reported. It has been projected that Manny Pacquiao's numbers, his pay-per-view numbers, range anywhere from 350,000 pay-per-views to 475,000 pay-per-views. Guys, those are horrible numbers, okay? Horrible numbers. And I will add the link to the description box to the article that I was reading. But in the article that I actually read by Jake Donovan on BoxingScene.com, he basically said that, the pay-per-view fight against Brandon Rios had basically served its purpose, for Manny Pacquiao to come back, return, and look dominant. But it actually may have done more harm than good when it comes to the numbers, especially when you expose these numbers to the rest of the world to see. This is really all surprising to me. I mean, when you think about the buildup of this fight, it seemed like this was a type of fight that was guaranteed to succeed one way or the other. Now, I'm not saying I expected it to do Mayweather-type numbers, but I expected this to at least do 800,000 to 1 million pay-per-views. Because when you look at the two fighters that are involved in the match, there are so many storylines within this pay-per-view promotion. I mean, you think of it, you take Manny Pacquiao, for example. Manny Pacquiao is considered by many the quote-unquote very loved, iconic figure, the very exciting, explosive fighter, at least on this elite pay-per-view level. And then you put him up against another action-packed fighter who's been involved in basically fight of the year. All right, this is supposed to be a guy who loves getting hit, who loves tasting his own blood, and just, he just wants to be involved in an action-packed brawl. I mean, you put all of this together, this is supposed to spell successful pay-per-view explosion. But that is not what this fight spelled, and that is not what this fight delivered. I mean, let the casual fan tell it. No one wants to watch skillful fighters. No one wants to watch technique and skill and Matrix special effects type shit. They want to see a brawl. This is what the casual fan has been saying all along. You know, Floyd Mayweather is boring. Guillermo Rigondeaux is boring. So please explain to me how it is that what you guys consider two of the most exciting fighters in the sport today can do some of the lowest pay-per-view numbers in contrast to people like Floyd Mayweather that you said was a boring fighter. You see, this is the hardest thing to do when you are a hater, is make sense. Because when you're hating, you're not thinking about what makes sense. You're only thinking about what makes you feel better to continue to hate. You're not really trying to make sense when you say something. You're just trying to say something and pass it on to other ignorant dumbasses so that they can all congregate and have something negative to say about a person that they do not like. But when they become confronted with facts and truth, then they're forced to contradict themselves because they never, took any thought into saying what they were actually saying. I'm not sitting over here to tell you that I'm Mr. Know-It-All, but I think it's very important to note that if you guys have been watching my videos, you subscribe to my channel, then you know, just like I know, there's been so many times where I have made a video long before the truth was revealed, telling you guys why things are the way that they are. And then articles like this, they come out and they prove me right. These same articles, they come out and they prove people like Floyd Mayweather right. These are facts, guys. These are facts. You can send the most ignorant messages, in the comment section, but these are facts. Okay? Like I just told you guys before on the last video that I just did regarding Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. First negotiations, Mayweather versus Pacquiao. The fight did not happen because Pacquiao refused to do drug testing. Freddie Roach, Bob Arum, all the ignorant fans sat there saying, Mayweather's just, he's not the whole sport, and he's trying to act like he runs the sport, and we're only going to do what Nevada Athletic Commission is asking us to do, blah, blah this, blah, blah that. All of a sudden, fast forward to today, now all of a sudden, Manny Pacquiao is saying, I want Brandon Rios Olympic-style drug tested if he's going to fight me. Now all of a sudden, Manny Pacquiao is a sport. Now all of a sudden, Manny Pacquiao is doing more than what the Nevada Athletic Commission is asking him to do. We talked about this, right? And we have been proven right. Second negotiations, Floyd Mayweather, he finds out that Manny Pacquiao is nowhere near worth the money that Floyd Mayweather is worth. We already know that Manny Pacquiao, he makes less than half the amount of money than Floyd Mayweather makes. So since the dumbasses, they want to go ahead and they want to talk about Floyd Mayweather and his low pay-per-view numbers, let's go ahead and talk about him. Now, as some of you guys may know, when Floyd Mayweather fought against Robert Guerrero, there were very high expectations on Floyd Mayweather being very successful. He was making his debut on Showtime, and even though he was fighting against a fighter that a lot of people didn't really know, it was still high expectations for Floyd Mayweather to be very successful because of all of the previous high pay-per-view records that he had already broken. So when the numbers basically came in for the Mayweather versus Robert Guerrero fight, like I said, they were not what people, at least Golden Boy and Showtime, had expected. But if you compare Floyd Mayweather's lowest numbers to Manny Pacquiao's lowest numbers, then it basically makes Floyd Mayweather against Guerrero look like a huge success. Now, you guys don't have to take my word for it. You can read this article that I read on BoxingScene.com by Jake Donovan, who basically said regarding the Mayweather versus Guerrero fight despite falling short of 1 million units sold, it still did well enough to top the combined total of Pacquiao versus Rios and Bradley versus Marquez, two of HBO's biggest pay-per-view events of 2013. So once again, Floyd Mayweather's lowest pay-per-view numbers in one fight was bigger than two combined fights in two of HBO's biggest events, pay-per-view events of the year. It was bigger than their pay-per-view numbers combined. We're talking about Floyd Mayweather's lowest numbers. What does that tell you about Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao when it comes to the numbers? It doesn't look good for Manny Pacquiao, does it? Not at all. So now let me go ahead and step into the mind of the dumbass fan that will leave messages periodically. It's always a good, 15 to 20% of dumbass messages. People that try to purposely almost go against the grain of everyone else that understands and gets it, right? Now, this is the type of shit that they're going to say. They're going to basically say some shit like, oh, well, yeah, it's true Floyd Mayweather is the highest draw and the biggest draw and et cetera, but he's only the biggest draw because he fought against Oscar De La Hoya. That's the only reason, right? See, guys, a dumbass fan has almost everything in common with a dumbass fighter. They have so much in common because just like a dumbass fighter, that dumb fighter, he will throw punches, not even thinking before he throws the punch, realizing that he's leaving himself wide open for a counter. And this is the same thing that the dumbass fan does. They are filled with so much hate that they basically attack someone without thinking before they attack, and they leave themselves wide open for counters. And then they end up being forced to contradict themselves and look stupid when it comes to talking boxing. For example, when you say that Mayweather is only so successful because he fought against Oscar De La Hoya, you didn't even think about the fact that Manny Pacquiao fought against Oscar De La Hoya, right? And Manny Pacquiao is supposed to be the one that's this iconic love fighter. He's supposed to be the person who replaces Oscar De La Hoya, right? So why wasn't the torch passed to Manny Pacquiao when he beat Oscar De La Hoya? When it comes to the top three highest pay-per-views of all time, how come Pacquiao versus De La Hoya isn't even in the top three? It's not even in the top five. How do you explain this, guys? Floyd Mayweather is only the biggest draw in the sport of boxing today because he fought against Oscar De La Hoya. So why isn't Manny Pacquiao the biggest draw? Didn't he fight against Oscar De La Hoya? What about Shane Mosley? Do you guys remember when Shane Mosley was the first person to beat Oscar De La Hoya? How come he didn't become as big as Floyd Mayweather? Okay? There's a lot of people who fought Oscar De La Hoya. And not only that, but like I said, you have to look at it the other way around. When it comes to Oscar De La Hoya, his biggest pay-per-views, who was it against? His biggest pay-per-view fight was against Floyd Mayweather. What does that tell you? It wasn't against Shane Mosley, Trinidad. It was against Floyd Mayweather. Like I said before, not only does Floyd Mayweather have the biggest pay-per-view fight of all time when it comes to pay-per-view buys, but Mayweather has the three biggest pay-per-view fights when it comes to pay-per-view buys. Once again, why is Manny Pacquiao not even in that top three when it comes to pay-per-view buys? Then you have the dumbasses that'll say, oh, Floyd Mayweather, he's only so successful and he's only the big draw because he fights against Mexican fighters. That's the only reason why, right? Do you know how fucking stupid that sounds, guys? That's as dumb as me saying the only reason why them Koreans are so successful with that liquor store that they own is because they put it over here around all these minorities and they know that we're going to buy it. That's the only reason why they're successful. Now, see, I was about to make all of these dumbass excuses look really, really stupid, but you're lucky I'm running out of time, so I guess I'm going to have to do it on another video. We'll continue this conversation on the next one. I'm on to the next one, guys.